Let's move on from that and let's talk more about this, right? So there's a lawsuit right now, or is that dismissed and thrown away against you?
The lawsuit?
Yeah, from these allegations.
It wasn't real.
Okay, so that was fake. There was no lawsuit ever.
There was a lawsuit, but they threw the case out. Okay,
so it's thrown out.
It never happened.
So why is it coming back up now? And why are all the blogs picking it up now?
Why is it coming back out now?
That's a lie, because that case is still going on. But let's go ahead and get into it. Dwight Howard had an interview with AngelaYee, who used to be on The Breakfast Club. Now she has her own radio show, and she asked him about the lawsuit twice. Now, for those of you who don't know, a model by the name of Stephen Harper is suing Dwight Howard for assault and battery. Allegedly, the two had been talking for a minute and exchanging pictures. Dwight invited the guy over for a session, let's just call it that. And then all of a sudden, a man came in dressed like a woman. They started doing activities, and Harper is claiming that he was held down against his will and acts were performed against him. I'm trying to be so careful with the algorithm, you guys. Please bear with me. I'll just say something real quick. Dwight Howard is a freak. Now, in those text messages, allegedly he said he's not gay, he just likes getting nasty, but you a freak. You are a real freak. Now, as far as the lawsuit, do I believe it? I know we're in a time period where we're supposed to believe victims. I honestly just think that this is a money grab. Unfortunately, Dwight Howard is not making the money that he used to make, so he can't just sweep this under the rug or pay somebody off. However, what I will say is that this definitely seems like a money grab. To me, it seems like this was a consensual thing. Yeah, did you want the third party involved? No, you probably didn't. However, I don't think this man held you against your will or try to do anything that you did not allow to happen. And with all the rumors about Dwight Howard, you definitely knew about him. Let's not forget about Mason, the transgender woman he was messing with in 2018, allegedly.
Yeah. But I know my why. I know my purpose and where I'm trying to get to. And if I allow all this stuff to knock me off my pivot, I'll never make it. So it's the same message I give to my kids, the same message I'll give to anybody.
Well, you know, that can't be easy for you because most recently we saw the posts and the blogs, right? And a couple of years ago, there's a guy who claims that, you know, you hit him up in the DMs and now there's a lawsuit. And I believe it's from 2021, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so how did you react to something like that? Because like you said, you're over here preaching positivity, living positivity, but then something like this happens.
I did react. Assault and battery. Y'all have been around me for how long?
40 minutes maybe.
40 minutes. I've never in my life assaulted or hurt anyone. I'm not even that type of person. So when I see allegations and accusations online about whatever people have said I've done, I don't pay attention to them.
Are you ever hurt when you see things, or you always like it doesn't bother you? Or does anything ever sting or affect you personally?
The stuff that it doesn't hurt, but it just makes me feel for my children.
Because they have to see it.
And it's not about all the crap. The stuff like with my kids and my mom and their moms. That stuff right there is just like, my son don't need to see that. He's getting too old, for one, and he's about to start getting to that level of understanding. And stuff like that he don't need to see. He doesn't need to see that.
How do you protect your children from? You just don't let them be on social media or watch TV or stuff, or what?
Well, so you can't protect them from that. What you have to do is, like what I have tried to do for my kids, is have conversations with them and see what's going on, because I know that at the schools that they go to, the stuff that they have on their phones, they have access to all this stuff.
It's the other kids too.
Yeah, you can't just, it's not like I can't stop them from doing this stuff, but what I can do is let them know and let them be aware that all these things are around them, and some of this stuff is to desensitize you and to get you from not being locked in and focused. And it's tough because they have friends, they have social media, they
and
have
the parents,
phones,
their friends' parents probably like, oh, you go to school with
this person. So I hate that my son has to deal with, a lot of his information being put out there at such a young age. But,
how do you work on co-parenting?
Man, it's been tough. It's been tough, I think, because of the child support laws and how that stuff has came about. It's really made it tough to be co-parents. And that's something that I've struggled with for some time. And I think a lot of fathers who have to deal with the child support and having to get lawyers and go back and forth, I think a lot of that stuff really affects the relationships between the mothers. And that's the one thing that I wish that could just kind of change, because I feel like it's all a plan to mess up the families. I think it's a plan to make the mom and the dad upset at each other, to where they're fighting about, time with the child. They're fighting about who gets the money. When I personally feel like it shouldn't be child support, because child support is enabling. In my experience, it can enable, and what I've seen, it can enable the moms. And sometimes it is not for the child.
Well, everybody's experience is different, because I also know dads who don't pay any money.
Yes, and I do. I know.
And so sometimes it is necessary.
Correct.
So it's a case by case scenario.
In Taiwan, they don't have child support.
But and that's cool. But I know I've had experiences. I have friends that have had experiences whose dad weren't involved in their life and didn't pay.
Kids be waiting for their dad to come get them. Their dad never shows up.
Yes, that happens in a lot of situations.
Yeah, not all of them though.
But why should you have to pay? Why should it be you have to pay when both parents have had the child? Why should it just be the father or the person who has the most income pay for everything? It should be if it's both parents.
Now, of course, Dwight Howard wants to cancel child support. He got 5 kids. Of course, he wants that done and over with. However, you the one who decided to have the baby. So at the end of the day, it still relies on you. Now, are there women who take advantage of the system? Yes, of course. However, you can't just blanket the whole system and say that it's trash. If you had a baby and you're not with a woman, then hey, you probably are going to pay child support. But I think this also speaks to, hey, I'm having kids versus having a family. When you have a family, you ain't got to worry about child support. When you have kids, you have to worry about child support. That's a deeper conversation. We can definitely have that later. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
It's supposed to be support.
Yeah.
So in other words,
it hasn't been support.
Right. And I think sometimes the father doesn't even pay enough. Like in some cases, child support. No, some cases child support is $35 a month. Like
or like $100 a month.
Or if he's getting paid off the books.
Both parties should go and get a job.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But I do think that if the mom has a child the majority of the time, and that's like housing, food, clothes, schooling. Sometimes you might need to have to get a nanny.
Get a job.
And if a woman has a job, she's paying for somebody to take care of her kid while she's at work. But all of those things do cost money, right?
Correct.
And so I do believe both parties participate in that. But I think it's a case-by-case scenario, because there's definitely some dads that are like, I'm not letting them know how much I make. I'm getting paid off the books.
And some moms who do the same thing.
Yeah.
It can go both ways. So what I'm saying is they need to redo the whole thing, because anytime somebody who has money gets involved with somebody who might not have the same amount of money, the person who doesn't have the same amount of money, they reap all the benefits.
It's
the average person doesn't have a child with
that feels like that's a
famous
issue, but
a rich person.
Okay, so how many entertainers, how many celebrities, and how many basketball players have to go through this? They pay crazy buku amounts of child support.
Right, yeah. See, that's not the thing. That's not our world. Like, we have friends that have regular.
But what do y'all do?
It's just hard because
y'all make posts
and
y'all comment, and then it's about the father didn't do this or the father. But the father is the one. So you want the father to go out, make all the money.
No.
And then you want Then you want the father to be present, and you want the father to go do all the things that the mother is doing. Like, it gotta be something. The energy, balance. It gotta be balanced. So if we're not in a relationship, you can't say, well, he ain't been with his kid in 2 weeks. Okay, so what if I had to go out the country for 2 weeks? This happens to pilots. This is not just basketball players and entertainers. This pilots, this what you call those people? Doctors. These people spend a lot of time at their jobs.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say?
I agree, but I do think it's case because I also know women who sacrifice their careers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to stay home with their kids. So they're not able to be like, oh, I'm going to go away for 2 weeks to work because I have to be home, to take care of.
That goes back to what? Mm-hmm. You got to choose the person that you have your child with, correct? And you can't just try to do it because you looking for a come up. And I'm not saying that's my situation. I don't want nobody to take it that way. I'm saying, but in general, a lot of times when women see somebody who has money and they try to get with them, they're looking for a way to do what?
And security. A lot of times guys also are making the smartest decisions. It's if you see a woman and you're not doing what you need to do, you're not protecting yourself. And
so that means
it's a two-way street.
Yes. So, but who at the end of the day, who gets to decide about the child?
The court.
No, the mom.
Woman.
Oh,
at the end of the day, who gets all the support and everything? The woman. Mm-hmm. So, and then while all this is happening, on the flip side of it, what is the father getting? The father gets booted out. Everything now that we've seen in social media and in our world today is they trying to make the home, all the homes fatherless, or they're trying to change how people view fathers here in America.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know some great fathers, but I also do know women. And statistically, especially when it comes to women being the head of the household, there's a lot of Black women who have to be the head of the household. And it's unfortunate for whatever the reason might be. Mm-hmm. It turns out that way. And we hate to have to see that. But a lot of times women have to worry about working, about raising their kids, about taking care of the finances, about coming home to cook after that, and also trying to maybe have a little bit of a life. And I know it's not an easy balance. And so, again, I don't think anything is across the board. I don't think that, because I know situations where the dad would love to see their kid and be in their kid's life, but then that child is being used as a pawn against the father.
So what do you do in those situations?
But I think in that case, men need to go and step up and go to court because they do.
But then we still are in the L. We can't. It's hard to win that situation because the courts are going to say, well, this is the mom. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's all they got to say. Right. This is the mom.
And that's why, at some point, maybe it's a mediation where you don't get the courts involved and you try to get a third party, because I think that's important too. And it doesn't always work. And it's hard because there's a lot of emotions involved. A lot of times there's bitterness on both ends of people involved.
But
so
see,
it's not
that
easy.
has nothing to do with the child.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So,
and that sucks.
So then the child is the one that end up hurting. But the courts and the lawyers and all, they're the ones that's making all these rules.
Right.
So then it doesn't benefit the child at all.
You're not saying across the board child support doesn't benefit the child at all. Or you're saying in situations you're familiar with.
He's saying going to court and doing all of those things.
Going to court, period. Getting lawyers involved, doing all that crap.
They make the money.
They making the money.
They need to share it with the same lawyer.
The lawyers talk to each other. They make the cases go longer. Yeah. They make the emotions and everything between the two people. Because it's like, first of all, hold up. Why do we need lawyers? It was me and you who laid in the bed.
Because y'all can't figure it out yourselves.
No. Why we can't figure it out? Because we rushed to have a child. Somebody out of both parties was looking for a way to have some type of security. And
sounds very specific right now.
I'm not being specific.
Guys looking for a quick nut with no condom.
So if a guy is looking for a quick nut, and you know this as a female, why would you have a kid with him?
No, we'd have to ask that young lady.
Yeah.
That's okay. So the man want a quick nut and the girl want a baby. Which one had ulterior motives? The worst.
Well, both of them. I mean,
no.
If you want a quick nut, why don't you use a condom?
You can still use a condom, and still some people have
got. I don't know anybody that got pregnant with a condom. I know people say that
it's not 100% effective.
I know that, but I don't know anybody.
All right, so if you date with somebody for over 3 years,
yes, we're not using condoms.
Okay, so if you get pregnant and the other person's like, I don't want a kid, you're gonna go and have the kid regardless?
Well, after 3 years, I think we probably have talked about whether or not we're going to have children together.
Especially if you know it's a risk of that happening because we've been having unprotected sex.
Yes, but if y'all been having sex for 4 years, let's say y'all had sex for 4 years.
Whatever the number is,
2, 3, 4 years, you never got pregnant.
That's happened.
And then all of a sudden you get pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine's like, hello, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
So then what happened after that?
Yeah.
How do you, like, what if the father, like, how can you be mad at the male if you say, listen, I didn't want a child.
Right.
You're forcing me to have something that I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, is that fair?
I mean, it kind of is if you are having unprotected sex. If you guys are having unprotected sex together, because if you want,
that can happen.
Okay, if you have the baby, then you can't say, well, if I have this baby, you got to take care of it.
Well, I mean, you're
financially.
Yeah, financially.
No, that's not fair.
It's your child. Just think about how bad you would feel later on in life, because I think for dads, it's accountability, right? There's a lot of things in life that we do that there's consequences for, that we have to pay for those consequences. Mm-hmm. And so, if you're having unprotected sex, the consequences could be that you have a kid that you could have to,
that's on both sides, though.
Yeah,
the man is not the only person that's not protected.
Nobody's saying that, though.
But
What?
Did you just hear what you just said?
I mean, it's accountability, and
you said it's accountability on the male's part because he has.
Well, you're saying if he doesn't want to have it.
If he don't want to have a kid, but y'all done had sex for 3-4 years and you never got pregnant, now all of a sudden you done got off birth control and you trying to get pregnant and you ain't tell him. And now you're pregnant.
Well, that's how you're a sneaky person.
Yeah.
That maybe you
So how many times this happened? Come on now.
No, I'm
what
not
if that
pregnant.
kid ends up to be Dwight Howard later in life? And now
so that's what you're thinking. So now you're saying what the girls is thinking.
I feel like
let me have a kid with this man because one day he might end up being.
But listen, I feel like you have such a unique experience because you're an athlete, you have all this money.
Not a lot of you
in the NBA,
it's like not a lot of guys.
Yeah, it's a smaller population, whereas I can see women wanting to be in a relationship or have a baby. But
yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of women get pregnant by guys that got less than them too. Let's be clear. That does happen.
But that's
and when they do with the baby.
But listen, that's not your world.
Where?
That's not your world.
Where?
So you're not
How many?
We don't have a study on that.
Because it's not. Girls is not going to go find no. Now, girls will have sex with a man that don't have no money. But 9 times out of 10, they not finna make sure that they...
Don't make up no fake statistic.
He did his own first
9
times out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. 9 times out of 10. But y'all
study.
know that y'all
will sleep with somebody who might not have no money.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but if that person who didn't have money got y'all pregnant, y'all not keeping that kid.
I wouldn't be having listen. I
You're
would make
lying.
no. Listen, no.
If y'all have a man that is giving y'all,
I think in this day and age, there's a lot. Men.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's a lot of women nowadays that make more than men. And they end up in relationships like that.
And the man still got to pay more child support. Make it make sense. If the women make more money, and you know it too, the women can make more money than the man, and the man still got to pay child support and more.
I don't know this to be true, but I'm sure.
I done seen it.
All right, look,
I know you done seen it. You are Jasmine Brand.
Oh my God.
You the blog lady.
The blog lady.
I'm the blog lady.
See, now wait till he gets his...
I ain't saying
nothing. Oh, what's she write about you?
She know.
She always
had a lot of
stories
stuff about me.
You do have a lot of stories.
You got a lot of stories.
It's one person in one story that you always have on.
She's on TV. She's a reality star. What do you don't want to have a baby with her?
No.
I didn't say that what was going on was bad. I said that you have posted a lot of stuff.
I'm not just
from
a
this
brand.
person.
Okay.
From that person.
Yeah.
This is the part where I wish they would have asked him more questions about Royce, but I know they have some kind of NDA where she can't talk about it, so maybe he can't mention it either, but I would have loved for them to dive into that because 2 weeks ago, she was on live talking crazy. Now, I kind of believe her though, but that's here nor there. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
And let's talk more about this, right? So there's a lawsuit right now, or is that dismissed and thrown away against you?
The lawsuit?
Yeah, from these allegations.
It wasn't real.
Okay, so that was fake. There was no lawsuit ever.
There was a lawsuit, but they threw the case out.
Okay, so it's thrown out.
It never happened.
So why is it coming back up now? And why are all the blogs picking it up now?
Why is it coming back out now?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the stuff I've been posting?
Mm-hmm.
So you think it's a behind the scenes trying to get you to have more negativity again?
Of course. Why at this time? if something, you read the article, right?
Right.
2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2021.
2021. Why would all of a sudden some stuff like an article about my character and supposedly, allegedly, what I did with this person and a battery and assault? I just posted a video of me and my son working out.
Okay.
That got some bad press. So now it's like, we got to keep it this negative train. Yeah, and I just stay positive with all this stuff. There's nothing on my page that nobody could say has any negativity on it. So when I see those things, I know that it's an attack on my character and where I'm at in life.
Right.
So I feel like there's about to be an elevation process, and the things from my past, the things that people have said I've done, they're trying to come up now to stop this.
Okay.
So
what do you think is the biggest misconception about you?
the father shit.
Okay.
I said shit.
It's all right.
Okay.
But no, like people saying like, I don't spend time with my kids, or, you know, I'm a deadbeat dad, or that I would ever do anything to hurt my kids. All the other noise that people say about whatever they think my personal life is, that's my personal life.
Right.
And I would never make anything private of mine when it comes to who's in my bed or anything like that. But
I did see an interview where you said the gay rumors aren't true because those were things that people kept bringing up.
of course,
Yeah.
they're going to say stuff like that to keep this whole negative train going. We got to find a way to assassinate this man's character.
So you think that all stems from these situations, and somebody is out there, there's people out there that are conspiring to put things in the media?
I feel like there could be. But again, my focus is not on those people that's conspiring it against me.
Okay.
My focus is on this podcast that I'm trying to get out.
Which would be great, because then you'll be able to
Then I
address
get
things yourself.
Who's all on the podcast? But is it just you, or
And the kids?
guests, or
I'm
kids?
going to have a lot of guests.
Okay.
I do have a section called Talking Shit on there. Then it's going to be my cousin. His name is Bode.